Welcome to the show, ladies.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get the formalities out of the way. So there we've got Advocate Tiny Sireko.
Yes.
Your Lindy, Vicky, Ashley, Tammy, and Nwabisa, right? All right, Lindy, let's start with you. What experiences have you had with street harassment? Is it, a guy you walking down the street and a guy whistling at you? What exactly is it and how have you experienced it?
Oh, okay. Well, basically, I use public transport most of the time. So I remember one time I was at the taxi rank and I was waiting for a taxi to go home. So these two guys were just like saying, oh, my size, oh, please, like, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful, I want to marry you. And it was so humiliating, like, it was so embarrassing, And I had shades on. So this guy wanted to take my shades off and I'm like, no, And he starts saying all these nasty words in Zulu, saying that you think you're better than everyone and stuff like that. It was just really humiliating.
Now, taking it to you, Advocate, you're in the legal profession. Is street harassment even legal? Is it something that's in our constitution?
Harassment of any form is illegal, especially if the person receiving it, if we may use Lindy as an example, if anybody does anything to you which makes you feel violated or humiliated or embarrassed, that is harassment. And fortunately, since April this year, April 2013, we have a Prevention of Harassment Act. It just came into existence now this year, in April 2013. You can see it's a fresh law. And that it's a law which I like a lot myself, because previously from 1999, you had the Domestic Violence Act, which catered for relationships within your domestic environment, your boyfriend, your mother, your sister, your cousin, or anybody with whom you stay. But the Harassment Act would cater for situations like Lindy has described. Then in a situation like that, you would go to your local magistrate's court, either where you live or the one closer to your school, and you would go to the clerk of the court and you would open a harassment complaint.
All right, now Tammy, can you share experience of yours? Just briefly tell us what you've been through.
Well, once this other day we were, as a group in the school, we went to Saibono, and there's other schools there, so everybody gets to know each other in a group. And this other guy from this other school, I was in a lower grade at that time, and he was like in matric. And this guy comes and he touches me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So I was confused, and it makes you feel uncomfortable, because I'm a person that doesn't like people in my space, so.
Oh, all right. And Ashley, now can you relate to her story? What's happened to you?
I can relate to both of the stories. I don't use public transport that often, but if I have to walk to my mom's office after school, it's along the main road, and of course there are a lot of people that are traveling that way, going to the mall to catch public transport. Then I remember once recently, there was this other guy with a group of friends, and there was a woman with them. It's like, oh wow, you're so beautiful. It's like, I'm wearing a school uniform. I'm, so it was just a little weird.
And awkward, I'm sure.
Awkward, because it's university students, no offense, university students, and they can see that you're younger than they are.
Yeah.
So it's a bit confusing.
They try and intimidate you as well. And you, Nwabisa, can you tell us about your story?
Well, I usually get this street harassment a lot. I live in Joburg, the CBD, where there's a lot of people.
I can imagine.
At times, it just disgusts me, because
it upsets you.
It upsets me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a young girl wearing school uniform, and an old man comes to me, pulling me, telling me he wants to marry me.
That's awful.
At this age. Maybe he has a wife at home, kids at home. How do they expect us to respect them if they can't respect us?
So for you, it's emotional as well.
Yes.
And you, Vicky, can you tell us how it's happened with you?
Yes, I can.
Just give her the mic.
I was just walking to my, I was walking down to my friend's school, and there was some guys that were busy just doing some construction work there, and this guy comes up and he's like, hey, I want to be your friend. I'm like, no.
Yeah, you're a grown man.
And I'm like,
my friend.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
So I just ignored him, and for a while I just
So that's like you handled it by just basically ignoring it.
Yeah, but he came over to me a few times and he's like if you want me, I can be your friend. And like, dude, I don't really have friends, so.
Okay. All right. Now, Advocate, can you tell us, like, maybe give us some advice that our sisters out there can use, just in order to firstly avoid it, and then how to handle it when it does happen to them?
Okay. If I may start with Nwabisa's situation, obviously she says she lives in the CBD.
Yeah.
So that place is already congested.
Yes.
And there is no avoiding it because this is your home. This is where you live. You have to walk down that street every day. And avoiding it, you can try to avoid it by staying indoors. But how realistic is that? Because you have to walk to school. You have to walk to the shop. The other way of avoiding it is just ignore it and just pretend as if you didn't hear it. Because depending on the situation, remember for your own self, you have to read the situation. Is he in a group? Maybe if I speak back or retaliate, he might even do something more serious to me. He might hit me, his friends, they might drag me into a car or things like that. So the only advice to protect yourself, especially because you live in such a congested place, is to read the situation. If you can scream at him or scream help, that would help you. But if you read the situation and you realize, I'm trying to speak back, but his buddies are looking at me with those eyes that you dare, they do something at you, just walk away. But your case, Tammy, brings out more issues, more legal issues, if I might say. Because remember, when somebody touches you, depending on where on your body they touch you, it might be more than harassment.
Yes.
It might be sexual. If I may just say, imagine where your bathing suit will sit on you, your swimming costume, your full swimming costume. Nobody's allowed to touch there.
Yes, no, that makes sense.
You understand? So that swimming, the part that the swimming costume covers is more than harassment.
Yes.
Whereas if you're just walking down the stairs, you're at Saibono, it's a busy place because there's movement there. Yeah. If you're walking down a path in Saibono and a guy goes on your bum, that might be harassment. But if they fondle you on the swimming costume covered parts, it might be sexual.
All right.
Harassment.
So that's the differences, basically. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Advocates. I mean, all the advice that you've given us is legal, and I'm sure the sisters out there will use it. And girls, thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you. There you have it, sisters. Hopefully you learned a thing or two, and you know what to do if you're caught in such a situation again. Sisterhood.